After reflecting for over a year outside of the country, I'm going to share with you another 5 reasons why it made me feel great leaving Australia and never look back. And I'll start with reason number 1, making friends again. Well, in Australia, I struggled to make friends. It felt very, very lonely. People just weren't approachable, right? And I've read a lot of your comments, like this comment here. And like me, a lot of people struggling. But I didn't know that before making the video. And I thought I was going mad. I started getting depressed. I felt lonely. And I felt like something was wrong with me. Why couldn't I make friends?
I knew there was something wrong with you.
As it turned out, and after reading all your comments, it's something common. A lot of people report the same problem in Australia. People are just don't want to make friends. So the only way to make friends is through your school, through growing up with the same group of people, maybe if you're lucky through your work. And I have to say, after a year traveling abroad, I made so many friends. And a little bit of backstory about me, I used to own a bar in Palestine, right? And I used to socialize with hundreds of people on a weekly basis. And I'm a social butterfly. So without this kind of interaction with humans, it makes me feel depressed, right? So for me, it's top priority is making friends and socializing and meeting people. When I left Australia, I started coming back to my old self, meeting people, socializing. It was easy again. And I discovered that the problem wasn't me. The problem was Australia. Reason number 2, escaping peer pressure culture. I've noticed something about Australia. I'm not saying it's impossible to make friends, but you can make some friends. There are a lot of good people there, right? I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of them. But the problem is the peer pressure. A lot of Australians like to do, what do you call it, Lawrence?
Huh?
What do you call it? Candy, party sweet? Okay. A lot of Australians love their party sweets. It doesn't bother me, right? I just don't like them. But the problem is every time I went out or every time I met my friends, they started peer pressuring me to take some party sweets with them. I didn't enjoy that. I didn't like taking them. I didn't want to take them, right? The problem is the more I said no to them, the more I lost friends. People stopped calling me, people stopped inviting me to go places with them because I just didn't want to participate in the sweet events. I'm happy to say that outside of Australia, it's not like that. I've been to Thailand, Oman, Greece, Italy, and Bali. I probably have forgotten some destinations in between, but I'm happy to report that around the world where I'm traveling, it's not like that. And people don't care. No more peer pressure. Reason number 3, no more Hunger Games style rental. Why are you laughing? The dictator. No more Hunger Games style looking for apartments and rentals. So every fellow Aussie here know exactly what I'm talking about. The 80 to 50 people queues of people standing in line waiting for an inspection to see a rental. Hundreds of applications refuted by real estate, licking some real estate agents' bums to be considered. No more. Everywhere I have been traveling to, renting was really straightforward. I see an apartment, I go see it by myself. And I even have the luxury to negotiate with the landlord. In Australia, it was really difficult, right? Insane amount of people viewing the apartment. The apartment is falling apart, super competitive, a lot of competition, very expensive pricing. You could have become homeless within half a year without even you knowing that. Even if you have cash and money, it's not a problem. It's just the scarcity of rental units and the brutal competition. There's no more of that in my life. I'm now in Indonesia, Bali, and there's plenty of rental units. And you don't like the price, try and negotiate. You don't like the landlord, just go find another one. There's millions of them. Reason number 4, racism. Guys, everywhere there's racism, right? But I've felt a lot of racism in Australia, especially in Queensland and New South Wales. Melbourne was a little bit better. People are usually mixed and ethnic in Melbourne, and that makes you feel like, okay, you belong, you fit. In Queensland, everywhere I went, I got bad looks from everyone, right? I was the only probably brown person walking in the street sometimes. And it just felt like I wasn't wanted there, right? And even to the point where I went to a job once and the guy, he was 80 years old, punched me in my stomach while I was fixing his computer, telling me, why didn't they send the guy with the blue eyes instead of me? So I'm happy to report while I'm traveling in Italy and Greece and in Bali, I don't feel any of that. And that feels really refreshing to me, right? And this brings me to my last and most important reason, one that's close and dear to my heart. Reason number 5, I have joy in driving again. Everyone knows how crazy Bali traffic is, But guess what? I prefer to drive in this traffic rather than drive in Australia, especially in places like Melbourne. In Australia, and especially Melbourne, I felt like every time I went for a drive, I was battling with the police not to get fined. Every time I saw a police car, I was terrifying and shaking and thinking, am I doing something wrong? Am I gonna get a fine? Am I gonna get hit with 5 points and lose my license? Every single time. When you drive in the suburbs, empty streets, they hide cars on the side of the roads trying to get you and fine you. And it's an adventure and not the nice type every time you drive in Australia, right? So I didn't feel that anywhere in the world where I went to, right? So I'm really happy to be out of that. Changed my life completely and I don't miss it one bit. All right, guys, this is a short video kind of, and these are the reasons I put. It's been a year now. I've decided to sit still in Indonesia for a while. I'm meeting great people. I'm gonna make more content, and I would really, really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, follow my journey, and I'll be releasing even more and more videos about Australia. But I also would love to hear what you have to say about that. Let me know what you think. Last video, you've done fantastic. You shared all your opinions. I wanna hear more of that. This is Rami out. I'll see you in the next video.